So because I've had somebody call, it'll be like my daughter. I'm like, hi, I'm busy. Hello, everybody. We are here on YouTube on my network, JLJ Media. I am James Lott Jr., and this is Extra Connections. And we're here to connect with people, places, things, and ideas. This person is a person, but he's also has ideas and things and places. So I guess it all kind of fits some of it. But I'm happy to introduce him. He is founder, CEO, talent manager of G&B Digital Management, where one of their mottos is normalizing equality, which I love that because my motto for my company is normality and diversity. It's like the same thing. And he has something he has to celebrate. Women's World Daily just said that his company is one of the top owned companies by a person of color, agency advancing opportunities for people of color. Women's World Daily. Congratulations on that. Kyle Hjelmeseth. Kyle.
Oh, thank you, sir. Man, what a fun intro. I appreciate your energy and your enthusiasm for life, and the fact that we're grateful. There's a lot of negative energy out there in the world, but yeah, we're keeping it back.
Well, it's hard. I'd explained to somebody the other day. They always say, "Why you always want diversity? I always want diversity." So, and a lot of my stuff that I do, my live talks, everything I do, my speaking engagements, I said, "Well, because I live in the lens, I see things through the eyes of a Black man. I see it, so I'm always looking for I'm looking for sameness, diversity. I'm looking for things that look like me. Where can I fit in? There's many things I'm looking at." And so I can't, until true diversity happens, I'm going to keep talking about it. So it must feel great to get that honor from Women's World Daily. What does it mean to you when you got, because there's nothing you applied for, nothing, it's just your regular life that you're doing in business. Yeah. How's that feel?
It definitely was an emotional, like first thing in the morning. So I found out about it yesterday morning at like 6 a.m. Get up. One of my clients sent it to me, which that alone gives it an extra edge of like, wow, okay. People before I even hear about it, people that I do business with are sending it the kudos along. And I come from the world, I have a lot of experience in the fashion world. So to me, Women's Wear Daily truly is like the top of the top, like, place where I want my name to show up. So the honor itself, getting mentioned there is just put me beside myself and made me do a little happy dance. The nature of the conversation in this like honor of being put on this list was something that, like, as you kind of articulated, you as a Black man, and you're always looking for similar faces and things like that. I live in this kind of mixed world, obviously, and we can get into that.
Please talk about that. Because my friend, I posted it. My friend's like, he ain't person of color. I'm like, wait, first of all, we come in all shades.
Right?
I come from a multiracial family. They come in all shades. My granddaughter has blonde hair and blue eyes.
Right.
So it does. So please add that into the conversation.
Oh yeah, we'll get there. That's a whole fun one. But as a mixed individual, like the first thing that I'm just like thinking about, and this is it's probably on my website too. It's like, it is funny to me. I think it's absurd at some level to have to be lauded for this, to get kudos for this. It wasn't my business plan. It just so happens that it's how I naturally, started to build my bit, but I didn't think about it because I was, bringing on diverse people from the very beginning, but it's not because you and I are diverse individuals. We're already looking out for that, and we're not doing it from a point of reaction, right? It's just natural, right? And so to me, on one hand, it's like a great honor, and on the other hand, it's like absurd, and I think the absurdity of it and the way that I'm thinking about it being absurd, while not minimizing it all, is just, it's kind of it's that indicator that, yeah, we have so much more work to do. There's so much more to this conversation. It should just be this way. And hopefully, I guess, by getting nods like this and that platform to say this out loud, I get to be in the stream of people out there saying, hey, diversify inside. Don't just partner with the Black individual on the side of you so that you look like you're making an effort over here. Make sure it's happening inside your culture. Make sure it's happening, for us as a talent agency, our talent roster is super diverse. But we just always appreciate all the voices, and that's not something we had to try at. What we had to try at is after last summer, what we had to try to do was, because of the, in the days after George Floyd's murder and the tone of the country, then I had to actually go back and like write a statement about it and explain the fact that we've already been doing this. That's where we had to try, which was,
I was going to ask you because you talked about this a little bit the week on your Instagram live I watched. We talked about your family, your background, and I'm sure for you the way you're presenting, obviously, and the looks that you're presenting, I'm sure people went to you and say, "Well, who are you? You got to say something. You got to say something." It's like not knowing of your mixed race background, just your looks. I'm sure that was a very interesting time for you.
Actually, I think I have this the part of the benefit is, part of the strangeness and the benefit is the people that are close to me. There's enough people that know about my mixed heritage where last summer, what I found happened more often than not was, and I chalked this up to being mixed, is that a lot of people came to me because probably I feel like because I was the easiest person for them to talk to.
Oh,
it's like, okay, Kyle's mixed. He does understand the Black experience, I think, somewhat. Said he's Black, so he must understand the experience. And so I think that I had a lot of people just come to me to talk about it right immediately, like after George Floyd's murder, from the business world, from the church world, from my personal life, because I think in part, like maybe it felt easier to talk to me.
I never thought of it before. Very interesting. I never thought about that angle before. That's very interesting.
Yeah. So that's part of it, and maybe it is, maybe it was. But yeah, it's just I have a different perspective. And
so it's funny. So my ancestry journey, 2 months ago, I did the ancestry test, the ancestry.com. I said I come from mixed race background, and so I look at how I look, right? So right. I'm thinking wait till and now folks at home, you don't know this. It's the genetic markers from both sides of your family. It doesn't negate what you grew up as or like that. It just tells you kind of genetically by DNA what markers you have in your system. The funny part that my whole family is couldn't believe, and now almost all my siblings are light skinned. Almost all of them are light skinned. I'm the one of the darker ones. And I'm not even that dark. You see, I'm not even that dark, but I'm just one of the darker ones.
Sure.
I got it back, and literally, I'm a third white Western European by my markers.
Yeah.
So we had everybody, but that's like everyone had this thing of like you're probably mostly African and mostly this. And like somehow I got really almost mostly and we are part Dutch and all that. So I mean, I got most of that side, the Irish and the it was kind of funny to me. It was like that was the revelation for most of my family. Like, so this is genetics, you guys. You can't go by skin color or shape of nose or shape of ears. Like it's just we're all mixed up in some level. It's just showing you. This is what I got from a lot of markers from that. I didn't get a lot of Native American. I didn't get a lot of this. I got a lot of white, basically.
Yeah, it's really funny. I'm glad you brought that up because I did part of my story that you were talking about that I was sharing is like I found my Black family fairly recently over the last year because I did 23andMe. And what I also found out, so I grew up under the pretense that I'm just half Black. Like my dad was Black, my mom is German, Scottish, and Irish, a little Native American. But in the construct of any conversation I've had my entire life, just half and half, whatever, African American.
Yes.
And so what was interesting is when I got the results back, I'm actually a third Black, and so I got those results back before I met any of my family. And what I found out, and like kind of putting this whole story together, is and if you look at my biological father, and he has 4 sisters, my biological father is extremely light skinned. But just like you said, in the mix of the family, his 4 younger sisters all are much Blacker looking than he is. And then my grandfather, I look a lot like my grandfather, and there was like an Irish mix in my grandfather's genealogy, but my grandmother's genealogy was all Black. So there was mixing going on, back here, but they were a Black family in Michigan. And yeah, so it was just really interesting for me to find out, well, I'm actually not half Black, I'm a third. And, and then there's all this other stuff in there that I had no idea about. So,
Come out to you. I was like,
but,
oh my God.
but here I am, here you are, and here we are.
Here we are. And what, what I find also, Kyle, for the most part, there's a lot of sameness. That's kind of the funny part about all this whole thing. We're breaking it all down by, I'm part this, part that. But in the end, most of it is we're all want the same 4 or 5 things out of life.
Right. Yeah. Amen.
Like love, a good job, a place to live. That's all with friendships. I mean, we all want the same crap, basically.
Yep.
Everybody wants to have money.
Bleed,
Yeah, you bleed, exactly. But I don't make it so. I mean, in a way, I want to make it that simplistic because in some ways it is that simplistic. It's just that there are things that we all kind of want the same thing, and to be left alone to do that, I guess, and to get that. I think that's what it is, right? The chance, if it's you as a talent management and a CEO, people want the chance to be able to present themselves to you no matter what they are, and you look at them and go, yes, you're talent, or you're this or that, right? Is that kind of what your thought is?
Yeah, I think what you said is actually so powerful, to take a second on what you said, because it's really true. Like, and no matter, I think everybody can relate to that. You just want the ability to take a step forward in the direction you want to go and that you feel is going to benefit you and your family, and that's why people like my wife, I was saying, she's Asian, and the Asians as a whole right now there's so many issues going on with hate directed towards them because they're not allowed to take steps in the direction they want to go in, because they're being lumped into this category of bringing a virus here, which she did not do, or whatever. Or if you're from any of these marginalized groupings of people, it's just because we're not allowed to take steps in the direction that we want to go. But that's what we want. You're right. At the most simple base level, that's what we want. And, I just wanted to say I agree with that wholly. When it comes to talent, talent's really interesting because it is subjective. It's like, I may not think that somebody has a talent. I don't tend to say that I look at people and be like, this person has no talent.
But do you see people and say they have it? Can you say
they have it for me? They have it for me. That's the point that I wanted to make. When it comes to talent management, it's really about, like my agency has a certain flavor to it, a certain aesthetic, a certain, it's like we pride ourselves in being the best, and we want to be the best for a large group of people that we really, put our all behind, and we believe in what they do. Not everybody is a great fit for our talent agency and the way we speak and the way we work and what we do, and that's okay. Because everybody's got a different path. I am lucky because we have like a 94% retention rate over the last 6 years, so a lot of people stay with us. We have like a 76% referral rate as an agency. So people we manage referring their friends because they've had I'm guessing a good experience, right? So those are positive indicators that what we're building is a good thing, and that people find the benefit, in our services. But yeah, it's like if they're not, I don't take it as an affront if somebody doesn't want to be with us, or even if after a year it seems like, hey, we're going in 2 different directions, and while that's sad, I want people to be successful. I want them to find their, the way that they need to be managed and whatnot. So
what is G&B style?
G&B style is a family style. Meaning personally, I'm the type of individual, I love to know what's going on with everybody. I want them to be successful. I don't want them to be successful for a minute. I want them to be successful for a lifetime, a long time. But everybody also has a different understanding of what success means to them, or a different goal, right? And so it's never been incumbent upon me to say, okay, well, this person's only making $100,000. So that's not quite enough for this hot talent management agency that I'm building, right? I want them to make $1 million. If they're making that much money and this is actually the lifestyle that they want to live, then we can support that. $200,000, whatever, money they're making. We want to, again, build it over time and help them construct a business around what they're doing so that they can have that consistency over time. And then like in that, you'll find people that are going to be rocket ships. They are rocket ships, and they're climbing to number one in Instagram or TikTok or whatever, and they're getting huge brand deals. You're gonna have those people, and you're gonna have some other people maybe on the other end of that are just super lovely to work with. Maybe they don't make a ton of money, but they're not also here like bugging us all the time, like, what's happening. They're just lovely people, and they get a little bit out of the world that we're creating with influencer marketing, and that's enough for them, and that's okay. So I found that like our agency is really good at being adept for the people in the middle who are going to do this all the time. They want this to be their career, these stars that are popping off. And then we've got just people that are like dipping their toe in it, but they're great individuals. We love working with them, so yeah.
So, okay. So you sound like I'm assuming this is true. You sound like me in a sense that I like to have my hands in and just see what's going on. I have a lot of audio dramas that I produce, and I have a lot of casts. I like to pop into the recording sometimes and see how it's going. Not that I'm micromanaging them, just see what's going on. And kind of know what's going on in your own business. I think it was Oprah Winfrey or somebody said years ago, when you stop signing all your own checks, that's when problems happen.
It is.
And I took it also as when you stop seeing how your business is actually running almost day to day. You can't do everything, obviously. You and I are busy. You can't do everything day to day, but you still got to check on your staff. You still got to check on the talent. You still got to check on people, right?
Right. Yeah. Amen. I think, yeah, that's important. It's like as an owner, I'm a fan of all of our talent. I have a director of talent now. I used to do all of the, interviews myself. And then I brought on somebody who, our business didn't really expand. It expanded pretty well under me, and that's how we started to build a name and a presence. But then when I brought on another person who could do that job of interviewing talent and really seeing who's a good fit just as well as me, if not better, that's when we blew up, and started to get all these incredible stories coming in. But I sign off on every influencer at the end of the day. Are they coming through the door? Is this, the right person, the right fit? And him and I, his name's Bobby, my partner, we have discussions about everybody. We really look at their stuff. I want to be a fan of everybody we're out there to serve, because I think our service is better when we are, obviously. Like I find, our internal credo is like our needs will be served. If we serve the needs of others, our needs will be served.
5 Dias, that's what I know it means 5 days. I'm part Latino. Said so true. Thank you, 5 Dias. I agree with that. Okay, so I'm going to ask you this question, because when I first got people underneath me, I had to learn how to delegate. I had to learn how to let go a little bit and not micromanage. So how did you get to that point? How were you able to get a director of talent? How were you able to do that and kind of let go?
Yeah, letting go is difficult, especially as you articulate. When you run the show, you want it to be like your level of quality, if not better. And it's something that my partner has always had to remind me that I cannot have the same expectation. I know how hard I work. Not everybody is at my level. Otherwise, they would all be the CEO, right? So I answer emails the fastest. I negotiate the best. I do all the things, but that's why I run the company. And so I can't hold everybody to my bar. There are people that get close to my bar though. And of course I know who they are. And it's like, that those are the people that you put on your rocket ship and you keep going.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
But to get to that point, a lot of it is just a feeling. And I think this is a feeling. The nature of your question is like, how do you understand when it's time to let things go? And I believe a lot of people know when it's time to let things go, but they can't bring themselves to do it. For me, that is a true marker of leadership, is like when you hit the wall and you're like, I can't do this anymore. A lot of people just stop doing, or they just kind of they like actually cut back on things so that they can manage their workload, because they're afraid of abundance or whatever it might be. It's like, oh, all that sounds great, but I'm gonna stay in this lane.
That's true.
But I got it was like I had I think 12 or somewhere between 12 and 15 talent that I was managing myself. And the first move I made was to to farm out the accounting so that I'm not sending all the invoices and paying all the bills and whatever, that just for 12 people and invoicing all their things, it just made no sense. So I got an accountant. That was like the first thing. But then when I got an assistant to help me kind of route information and just take little tasks off of my plate, I, like basically doubled right after that move, like getting somebody in my corner to take the little thing, to delegate out the little things too. And that person's grown with me and has been with me for almost 4 years now. She's my office manager now. And so it's just like, yeah, you have to know when you're hitting the wall and say, I'm going to do something, and do something about it.
And also you're empowering people to be great. You give responsibility.
Yeah.
And you give them trust.
Yeah.
And and you help them, or maybe you helping mentor them a little bit. That you're empowering them to come into their own too and to flourish. And I think it's hard, but it's rewarding because no man's an island. You kind of have to have help. If you're going to grow, you need to grow other people too. It's tough sometimes. I get it, folks out there. I always do trainings on entrepreneurship, and I tell you, I know it's hard. I know it's hard at first because you started this whole thing. It's your baby. Your money's invested. Your time's invested. Your spirit's invested. But that just means you need to go out and find people who will fit your spirit and your time, and bring them on and trust them to do a good job for you.
Yeah, I think something really big for your audience, and or what I feel is big, is when I brought this director of talent on and really started to give him these things that I did. Like, I trusted him a lot. I'm just a trusting person by nature. Like, you're going to have to, instead of the other way around where you have to earn my trust, you'll get my trust. And then if you mess up, you gotta, right?
The same way.
But the thing is that when I brought this guy on, I wanted him to go and do things. I trusted him fully. And I'm like, just go do it, man. Like, just do it. And if you mess up, I'm telling you, I'm giving you the pass. Like, if you mess up, it's okay. We'll talk through it. And that's how you'll learn. And we'll break it down. But what I missed in that, and the particularly about this individual that works with me, my partner, is that he needed more information from me to feel comfortable to get to the level where he knew he was going to perform at what I wanted. Right. I'm out there. I'm like, just go do it. It'll be fine. I now that you're here, I have more space to do things over here. And he really looked to me to want to learn, to ask me questions. He didn't want to mess up. And so it was an important lesson for me as the leader to say, okay, cool. Like, step into my office. Let's break this stuff down before you go do, because that's what you need to be successful. Not just because of what I want you to do, but what you need to be successful. And now he's wildly successful. So you got to recognize.
In a chat room, they want to know, this is kind of still business wise. How do you feel about going into business with friends?
It's nice. That is a dicey maneuver, right? And it's always dicey. I would say, like, the reason a lot of people tell you not to go into business with friends is because you probably shouldn't go into business with friends if you want to keep your friendship. I'm saying that as somebody, I am in business with my best friend, my number one best friend.
Okay.
And I will, that fear is always there, that something will happen that will blow up the 17-year relationship that we have, right? But also at the same time, I know the quality of his character. I know who he is. I know what he's capable of. I know what he's not capable of. Also on the same or I guess on the other side of the coin, he knows my strengths, he knows my weaknesses and all of that, and he cares about me and he cares about this company, and I know that. So even when we have disagreements and things like that, both of us are really good at kind of taking a step back. And this is a particular personality trait for the two of us. Not everybody has this. We can take a step back, and I think this is like relationship advice too. You could say this is marriage advice. If you take a step back and you realize the other person's not trying to do you harm, not trying to do you wrong, then it allows you to say, okay, cool, we don't agree here, but we can figure it out. and okay, let's take that step. I want to understand why you think that way, why you want to bring in this talent that I think sucks or whatever. It's like you're able to talk, communicate, and figure it out. And that's the same is true in a marriage or in a partnership like this. At the end of the day, I'm not recommending, working with your best friend for everything. You just have to have this like relationship where you fully understand each other and you respect each other.
Yeah. And that works. I've interviewed couples who work together. They find ways where, like, okay, I'm in accounting, my husband's over here. Like, we have two different duties. Like, there's things that you have to figure it out. You just have to figure it out. Figure out it's like a puzzle. Figure out what the best fit for both you are in this space.
Right. We're like a little commune. My wife, the whole way that I got into influencer management was because my wife is a talent. She's a OG blogger. She's been around forever. And I started helping her with her deals. So I started helping this woman that I'm in love with, and there's different parts of that definitely created tension between us. But for the most part, she definitely knew that I'm always trying to bring her more value and do things right by her. I know that the same is true of her. Listening to my wife is like I always tell people, like, if I had listened to my wife, I would have been doing what I'm doing now, probably 2 years before I started doing it. She kept saying, you need to help me. You should help me. You would do great at this. And I just like, nah. Yeah. And then when I helped her and she made more money, then she's like, oh, you should quit your job and come do this. And I'm like, nah, I need the health insurance.
Right. Right. We think we can't help. We're men. A lot of times we think we gotta take care of stuff. Make sure.
But you got to have that faith that again, your partner is not out there to do you harm. She's looking out for me and my best interest. She knows me, and she was absolutely right. I should have been doing this all along. Should have quit my job, and really took this on full time. I'm still successful today, but I could have had a head start. So,
well, I would say it was the right time for you to do it now. The time you started was the time you started. The time you started. That's the best, right? I started at 40, and I tell people all the time, I'm like, well, the first 40 years built me up to this point. To start at 40. So I mean, that's how it works. I mean, I can't go back and say, well, I should start at 25. Well, I wasn't ready at 25. So 40, I was ready.
That's a huge life lesson. Is that I'm a little bit of a spiritual guy. I don't think that God gives you blessings that you're not ready for, exactly. And I definitely see that in my life many times over. It's like I probably wanted it back then at 25 or even 30, but I wasn't ready for it.
I was ready for it. And plus, there's a saying that luck favors the prepared. Because there's no luck. There is no luck. That's the whole point. But just I was prepared. I have a lot of experiences in my life, like you do too, I'm sure, that you're able to use now in your business.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my other professions, there are parts of it that I use today.
Right.
In this profession. You know what I mean? So it's just that's how life works.
You're a multi-hyphenate, man. Like I've read about you've done this, you've done this. Like you've got so much that is all into why we're even sitting here today. So
I'm tired. I did all that stuff. I'm like, how did I do all that stuff? What did I do? Did I live life?
Yeah, I think that's how you know when you lived a good life. You're just tired.
Just tired. I'm like you have a glass of wine after this, I'm sure. I just want to relax the tub and have a glass of wine. Okay, now I'm gonna ask you a question.
Sure.
Because I'm curious I've been wanting to ask you this question. I'm very curious what your thought is. So I'm building it up for everybody. The word influencer.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a very divisive word these days. For some people, they think it's a joke and and it's tired, don't say that word. And others take it seriously and are really doing really well. So you mentioned influencer in your work and stuff. So what does that word, what do you think about that?
It's a great question. You're right. It's just weird to me that it's even divisive, but I honestly, I'll just, for you and your audience, I don't like the word. I don't like the word because when I started doing this, like my wife, she went to Berkeley. She has a degree in economics. She's trained in photography. She's an incredible writer. And so she was the first person I started managing. She introduced me to her friend who is also a blogger, and I started managing them. That individual, multi-hyphenate, went to Cornell, incredible photographer, incredible writer. So my view of like the people that I was working with at the beginning was not that they were like snapping quick iPhone photos. And certainly my wife, she's a luxury, kind of a luxury beauty and fashion influencer. She wasn't posting up pictures of, sponsored by Oreo cookies or anything. And so I wasn't trying to be, like a hater on Oreo or anything, but because I love Oreo.
So do I. Trust me. I'm there.
I was like, I have this bowl of Cheez-Its next to me, so I'm down for the biscuit. But in the certain sense of like who I started working with at the beginning, the term didn't exist then anyways. They were all just bloggers. And so when influencers started to creep in, which was like 2016, 17, I actually at first rejected it. My first email address for my agency was actually creators, because I was literally trying to reject this term that was starting to be used in emails to me, where I'd be like, I don't have, I would literally say like, I don't have influencers, but I have digital creators, or I have people that are great in photography, writing, and videography. And I would always try to separate out my talent and the fact that they had real skills versus being kind of what at that time, and I think what makes people feel like it's a joke now is even more so now because of the strength of, our phones and what they can do. Yes. You can take a quick photo and just, and put that up online with minimal editing. And so to me, I was always turned off by the term. I prefer digital creators. I think an influencer is one thing, because an influencer does even fit, the naming that our talent need, because brands come to us, they want to influence a specific action. They want to influence the way we feel about a product or the brand itself. They want to influence a purchase intent, right? So yes, these people are influencers. They want to influence the way we feel about the election, services, other sorts of things, political action things, social justice things, right? All these people can be influencers, but you don't have to be an influencer to be on social media and grow a giant community of people around you. Maybe your intent is really to share your art and you're not really trying to influence the thing. You can share your art and not have that be connected to influencing a community of people. In a sense, you can inspire, you can say you're an inspirer or whatever.
Yeah, right? Inspirer, yes.
You're an inspirational being, creator, whatever.
Yeah. I make it work.
Right. So I think it's just, I get it. I get why people reject because what we see, you and I live in Los Angeles, and that's especially true in LA. Anytime I drive across the city, I'm going to see, 20 different people out on a street corner snapping a photo. Right. And it just, when you see that, you think that's not it. That's not what we want out of humanity. Right. But on my side of the coin, I look at these individuals, like I said earlier, I'm a fan of everybody that we represent, because I know the time, the intention that goes into what they create. I know, obviously I'm living it firsthand in my own household. It's not just a quick photo or a quick whatever. It's like you have to read a creative brief, and then you're going out there, and even if it's like a product like a package of Oreos, right? Like, hey, I'm gonna set the stage and I'm gonna dunk this Oreo in milk and it's gonna be the best thing I've ever tasted. And I want to communicate that via video or communicate it via photo, whatever. So there's the production, the work is there. And so I think people don't really understand that, because it seems like it's so quick and like, effortless that these individuals go out there and they post things and they get people to follow them and then make money. But there is a lot of intention and a lot of effort that goes unnoticed.
No. I mean, that's the thing. There is. I fall somewhere in between. I don't hate the word. I don't love it either. I'm somewhere in between. But I do know folks who do work really hard. This is their job. And it's not, you just don't wake up and do it. Like you say, you just don't wake up. Like true people who are digital creators who influence and inspire people to try a brand. I did a little bit of influencing a couple times in my life. And it wasn't easy. Yeah, that shit was not easy. I mean, because I remember. So I have a friend, James Swanwick, who has the Swanwick sleepers. He has these light blocking glasses. Where are they? I usually have them sitting right next to me, but it's somewhere. And I was wearing them, and he was like, "Well, do you want to become an affiliate? And kind of, we'll give you a code, that kind of stuff." I thought, sure, I'll just kind of whatever. But no, I had a friend show me. He's like, no, you got to showcase the glasses a certain way and get the real camera out. Right, get the real camera out. Think of ideas like, where should you go while you're wearing them? Oh, so you're at work. What's part of your brand? Mix it in with their brand. Like, there's a whole bunch. I mean, there's just so much more
James,
to it.
I know we're live on YouTube right now, so I'm like, Penfolds wine.
I love it. See,
I love Penfolds. I love the rich Cabernet.
Tell him, Kyle. Tell him, Kyle. And see, if I was good, my glasses were sitting right. My regular glasses are sitting right here because I'm old, but my other glasses are sitting right here. But that's the whole point. It's like, it's kind of this thing where it's not French in advertising and write copy too. It's like, it's not this thing where you just wake up and do it. If you want to be a true person who affects positive change to a company or a brand, there is work that goes into it. And if you do it regularly, there's a lot of work that goes into it to make sure it's different each time and it's something different, but also keeps you and who you are, and then also what they are. I'm like, I get it. It's not easy.
Well, you know, there's something really interesting here, like a little.
Oh, wait a minute. Here they are.
Oh, get them. Is that your blue blockers?
Yes.
I need them blue blockers. Give me that affiliate code.
I'll get to you. So yes, I think it's Lott 50. I think it's LOTT 50.
Right.
But isn't that funny? It's like it's a lot of I mean, you have to have it's a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's interesting. It's a lot of work, but also I understand kind of like the psychology of the people who are hating on influencers, because what influencers have done is they have really wiped out what it means to be a celebrity. You know, celebrity is somebody, in a lot of cases, you know, either, hey, I had this dream of being an actor and I moved out to Hollywood and I went to every audition, I honed my craft, and, you know, you got to work real hard to make the break. But when you make your break as a celebrity, as an actor or actress, like, it's because somebody recognized your talent and put you on, and they groom you, right? They groom you and they move you into the system, and you get the right film, you have the right agent, all these things. And then, or if you're Neil deGrasse Tyson, right? You're like, he's a celebrity and an academic, but he went to the right school. He went to a great, university, and he's got all the papers. He's got the credibility that he mapped out before his personality made him a star also, right?
True.
Those things, that is the world of old Hollywood and old celebrity. With influencer, everybody, I'm in a condo and I'm looking across to another condo building, right? And the individual sitting over there could be making TikTok things in her, I don't know what's going on in her life, but she could be a star. Right. I could be a star. You could be a star, right? Everybody has the opportunity to tell their individual story. So all of us on the outside of that, we look at these people doing that and we're like, it's like thinking about your friend who's like, who's the weird one, who was always, in drama club and was like, I'm going to go to Hollywood and I'm going to make it big. Right. Oh, yeah. Like, all right, whatever, weirdo. And so it's like, we're surrounded by these people who are out there trying to make their dreams come true. And a lot of people automatically hate on that notion of, oh, you want to do that? Okay. Go for it. Whatever.
Sure,
luck, jerk. Yeah, right. Whatever. But that's what celebrity is today. That's what, the world is transferred into. We value independent individual storytelling. That's why these communities build up around people, because you're building up around a compelling storyteller. Whether it's a visual storyteller or somebody great at video or whatever, or Clubhouse, and they're on there, talking and sharing whatever is going on in their world. Like, it's compelling storytelling from individuals from all walks of life versus like selected elite, right? So
you know what I found, Kyle, the last few years. I had a friend tell me, I remember this was like maybe 6-7 years ago on Twitter. He's like, well, James, in my Twitter world, you're the most famous person in my Twitter feed, in my Twitter world. And it's like, I guess I can reach you anywhere, in anybody's feed where you are. This person can be really, like, in certain circles, I'm a star. In certain circles, I get recognized on the street if they watch certain shows that I do. Like, it's one of those kind of things. That's what's happened now. You could be a big fish in a small pond, so to speak. You know what I mean? And be really successful. Where what success is changing. You're right. When you said the site, it's totally changing. I'm a celebrity for some people. I don't think I am. I live in my house in Inglewood and I'm just like doing what I'm doing. But like for some people, when they meet me, they're crying, they're shaking my hand, like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Like, I do YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
But for some people, that is their frame of reference, is that, no, I see you through my screen, you're a star. And then other people, something else, right? But that's what talent is changing, isn't it?
Yeah, I
Or it's
mean,
changed.
my wife has been around for a long time, so a lot of people know her. But she has 100,000 followers on Instagram, which is not like the bar today. People in my
Right.
world are like, 100,000, okay, so whatever. But individuals in my normal life think that my wife is like the most famous person. Like they think she's so famous. I literally somebody said this to me yesterday. Like, she's famous, and she's worked, she's worked with huge brands like Chanel and Dior and all this. Like, she is famous to a individual who is not in our world. I was thinking about when you were talking, I was thinking about this one young woman I know who works at an agency who does influencer marketing. We work with that agency on campaigns. The young woman, she's a junior account executive. So she's not high up or anything. She's kind of in the middle of making sure that campaigns run smoothly and whatever. But on Clubhouse, she is a star. Like she's not getting sponsorships yet, but she's got hella followers. She is doing Clubhouses before she goes to work. And then as soon as she's done with work, she's on there, like telling her stories, giving her point of view. She's a star. And you were like, and then when I talked to her because I found her on Clubhouse and we connected and I was like, oh, you work for that agency? And then I went back on my emails and I was like, oh my God, I actually have emails with you. I didn't put two and two together. Like, and now she's out there, she's living it as an expert and people follow her for her.
I have to follow you on Clubhouse. I do talks in there too. But you're right about that. On TikTok, I'm a star apparently. I have 3 million views or whatever. And like, it's just this crazy video that went viral this week. And it's really weird because I'm like, I'm not doing the dances. I'm not savage or nothing. I'm not doing that stuff. My stuff is all talking.
Yeah.
It's all talking based stuff, tips and things, some funny comedy stuff too a little bit, but it's all talking. I decided to take TikTok because I was told I was too old to be on there. So I don't know about you, Kyle. I'm a person, you tell me I can't do it, I'm going to do it anyway. That's just kind of how I am. Maybe it's my Taurus nature. I don't know, whatever. So I said, I'm going to do it. And so I said, I'm going to bend it to my will.
Right.
I'm not going to do what everybody else is doing. I'm going to find my own niche, right? And just work that. And that's what I did. So it's kind of like so I'm a star. People are like, it's that James Lott Jr. guy. He does all the Star Wars thing. Like, I didn't know people were. I mean, I don't know who these people are, but you're right. It's one of those things you can go somewhere and be a huge, huge, huge hit.
Right.
And your other life. I mean, it's so
yeah, whole other life.
So and, for you, do you manage all of that with your clients? That's what you do with your client. You're managing all of that. The brands, some of their stuff on social media.
We don't manage we don't, like I and my team, we give room to the creators to create what they want to create in the way they want to do it. So if they want to be on TikTok, that's fine. If they want to be on Instagram, great. Like a lot of the business today is on Instagram. A lot of our people, my 2-year-old saying, "What's up?"
I love it. We're at home, folks. We're at home. That's what it is.
But yeah, a lot of our people, they have blogs. So we keep them abreast of like what is up and coming. We give them education about things that they can do, but we center ourselves on helping manage what happens on the business side so that they have time to really fully explore the creative nature of their business.
Okay. Very good.
All the boring stuff. I manage the boring stuff. I'm like looking at contracts and yada, yada, yada. But inherent in that is a lot of creative, interesting conversations. Like, People Magazine just a couple of weeks ago came to one of my talents and we're talking about a show with them. And so I'm a part of even though I'm the manager, the boring guy who's going to look at the contract, I'm in those meetings and we're talking about how this potential show with them could play out and all that kind of really fun stuff. So, it's that for me is like the greatest part of what I do is I'm a creative guy, but I'm just better at the business side. I could never be an influencer. I can't do that work. I'm not consistent enough, to post all the time and things like that, but I can be on the side. I can have a creative input and then I can use my expertise on the business end to, positively impact.
Yeah. Which is important. Which is, I mean,
Yeah.
this is a business, kids. This is not, you're just looking for, it's not some hobby you're doing. This is a business.
Right.
So we need folks like you to handle that part.
Amen.
All right. Kyle, I talked to you forever. I mean, you're amazing. You're easy to talk to. You're amazing.
Get out of here. Come on. Talking to the best smile ever right here, right now. Yeah, no, it's just, it's like good things. We can just like groove and whatever. And it's funny. It's like a lot of people, they ask me like hard hitting questions, and I'm like, oh, I think you and I have this optimistic spirit that's just like, oh, okay, cool. Like, yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about race and equality, or let's talk about mental health and welfare and whatever, or how you put a deal together. It's all fair play.
I agree. No, it is, and that's how I live my life. It's all fair. I like that's all fair play. Kyle, you're the best. G&B Digital Management, of course, they just the Women's World Daily, top BIPOC owned business agency advertising opportunities for people of color, the advancement of them, and is regular everyday life, which I appreciate and co-sign that message.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Sir. Tell people where they can find your agency, find you, whatever, anything online. It's your turn to promote.
Well, the funny thing is, so I'm glad you did the name check before we got on here, because if you're going to find me on social media, it's just my name, Kyle Hjelmeseth, but who can spell my last name?
And I'll put that in the description.
Yeah, I was like, you gotta read the description or whatever. And then our agency is it's GB Digital Management, so it's just gb-dm.com. But people, they DM me all the time with questions and stuff. I love that. I love to, help where I can, and really just, encourage everybody to reach out, get interested. One of the best things I could tell people to do, especially a lot of people are like, well, how do I do that? How do I become an influencer or whatever? We own a property called College of Influence, which is really easy to remember, collegeofinfluence.com. And so people can go there and learn just like what it's like to be an influencer a bit if they want.
Yes. Well, we follow each other now on social media, so I will be promoting, watching everything you're doing, and supporting whatever I can do to help. I'm here. Maybe come back again on the show sometime. Whatever I can do for you, I'm here to help. We're all part of the same village.
Yeah, we are. We're in the same.
We probably are, but we are.
Right, I got to get on that ancestry.com.
That's like we're probably fourth or fifth cousins. Who knows?
You know what? Apparently, I'm fifth cousins with the Jackson family. So.
Oh, hello. Call up cousin Janet. Oh,
right.
What's going on? Cousin Tito.
Put me on, girl. Come on.
Talk about influencers. Folks. Some of the originals right there, right? I had the fro when I was a kid. I saw Jackson 5. I had the fro just like they did.
I could never grow one. That's why I'm.
Oh, sorry. Hair talk. Sorry. Everybody, this is James Lott Jr. here. You can follow me where all James Lott Jr.'s are sold at James Lott Jr. and all social media platforms. Again, like on TikTok, follow me there. Also, this is my online network owned by me, JLJ Media. I'm the JLJ of JLJ Media. We are on every streaming service platform you can think of, from iHeartRadio to Spotify, Apple, Google, and everything in between. And then, of course, on YouTube, Be Kind, Rewind. We are here. Subscribe button is down here somewhere. I never remember where it is. The red triangle thing. Yeah, over here, over there. I'm always like that away. It's somewhere here. But hit subscribe. And I have over 35 shows on my network. We have some great folks, great hosts, great shows. Check them out. We talk about all things from insurance to Star Wars to soaps, everything in between. So go ahead and help a brother out and follow me. And everybody, please stay safe, stay sane. And remember, diversity just should be normal, and it shouldn't be anything too crazy for it, just normal. Thank you.